It's a calendar that's caught an eyeful of attention on and off the campus of Ohio State University. 12 glossy photos, all featuring male OSU students. And who do you suppose put this all together? Some slick Madison Avenue publishing firm, perhaps?
Get some apple butter for Dad, okay?
Meet the publishing company, Evelyn Moore, a housewife from suburban Groveport. She spends most of her time taking care of her family, but several months ago, on a whim, she decided to take on an even bigger challenge, to produce the first all-male OSU calendar. She'd gotten the idea from a similar calendar she'd seen in Michigan. Evelyn thought she could do a better job, so she jumped in headfirst with no training or experience in publishing or photography.
I have absolutely none. This has been a tremendous learning experience for me, and that's what's kept it so interesting. And it was a challenge, a personal challenge, and I did it.
So where do you start? Evelyn and a camera-toting friend plunged into the campus area, stopping men and, well, asking if they were interested.
Excuse me a moment. Hi, my name's Evelyn Moore, and I'm the producer of the Men of OSU 1983 calendar. And you look like you'd photograph well, so I had to come over and talk to you. Some people thought it was a joke. Some people were really complimented, and some people just didn't know what to think.
It took quite a bit of chutzpah, but Evelyn actually got few rejections.
Excuse me. Hi, my name's Evelyn Moore, and I'm the producer of the Men of OSU calendar from 1983. We saw you across the street, and we thought you looked like you'd photograph very nicely. And you look like you'd photograph very nicely. Okay? You never know. If you have a good photographer, I think so. Walking up the street there, I could tell that you photographed very nicely. In the beginning, I was simply looking for someone who had a certain amount of personal charisma and a person who seemed to have a good-natured personality. And I also wanted to get all different types of people to appeal to a wide range. I didn't want the calendar to be just a catalog or a calendar of what I like, because my taste might be very limited.
After weeks of searching, Evelyn had compiled more than 60 snapshots and personality sketches of likely candidates. How to pick the 12 best? Easy. Ask other women. Evelyn took the photos everywhere with her, to places like Hair Hunter's Beauty Salon, where she asked everyone, both employees and customers, to rate the men on a scale of 1 to 10. It seems that the judges had the most fun in this contest.
Well, you can lift my weights in it. Look at this one. Gosh, I'm going to have to start taking classes. Now, this is my old baby. Do you guys see this one? Boy, he is cute.
Yeah, he's handsome.
None of the women seemed undecided. They all had strong opinions. The men were rated both on their appearances and their personality sketches. To Evelyn, it was just as important to pick men who were interesting as well as good-looking. The 12 men with the highest scores were selected to appear in the calendar. Now came the real challenge. Evelyn hired professional photographer John Jewett and set each of the men in a location that suited his personality. A studious type on campus, a skydiver in front of his airplane.
I wanted to capture the guys in their own element. So therefore, I didn't want them to wear something that wasn't really reflective of their own personalities.
Now remember, Evelyn had no fashion photography experience. She was making this all up as she went along. On top of that, the guys had never modeled before either. Some of them had to go through several photo sessions to get it right.
I had 2 of them. The first one, I was really nervous because, I mean, nothing like that had ever been done before, and I didn't know what to do. You know, they were telling me to do this and do that, and I just didn't know. And the second one was a little better because they fed me some beer before I went on camera, and so I was a little more relaxed then.
So, who are the 12 men of OSU? This is Chris Gilmore of Uricksville, Ohio, a fellow who says one of the biggest shocks in his life was being chosen for the calendar. Ken Goodson of Xenia, Ohio. He works part-time as a bartender and is an expert Frisbee player. Chris Holgate, Worthington, Ohio. He's a member of the OSU soccer team and would like to become a politician. Sal Drago, a native of Palermo, Sicily, who grew up in New York City. He's also a soccer player. Earl Webb from Elyria, Ohio. He's considered to be the most outgoing of the bunch. Scott Carter, hometown Cincinnati. Wants to be a chemical engineer, but his greatest love is swimming. Mark Jacobs of Columbus. Mark is studying to be a lawyer. Clark Backus from Maitland, Florida, an inside linebacker for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He, too, wants to become a lawyer. Greg Davis of Oyster Bay, New York. He's a member of the OSU karate team. Dan Brodsky-Chenfield from Columbus. Dan is a skydiving instructor and pilot. His major, naturally, is aviation. Frank Ciotti of Euclid, Ohio, is a computer engineer and weightlifter. And Michael Grundon from Bryan, Ohio. He likes to ride motorcycles and hopes one day to ride one to Alaska. After hiring a printing company to put the calendar to press, Evelyn had one more problem: how to sell the thing. She did that the same way she did everything else, by simply barreling in. Calendars in hand, she buttonholed bookstore managers all over town, and it worked. She called newspaper and TV reporters and set up her own publicity campaign. And Evelyn Moore, a housewife who didn't know a thing about what she was doing, became a successful calendar publisher.
I just have an overall warm feeling because I really know that I've gone out and I've made myself 12 wonderful friends.